Hi everyone. I hope you all are amazing. How is it going? How's the weather? So, where I live, it has started becoming cold. In fact, it has started freezing. So, it becomes really difficult to survive. Why I'm saying that is because this girl isn't well. She's not doing well actually for the past 2 days now. But still, I have to be here for you all for the sessions that we have planned. So I thought, why skip it? So we'll have again a very short session of learning good work related idioms and phrases. And without further ado, let's begin. All right. I hope my screen is visible to you all. Now, what are actually business idioms? Business idioms is nothing, or business idiom is nothing but some good phrases, some good expressions that have figurative meaning in a business context. Now, business, not actually business related, but professionally, if you can use these words and phrases, then you call it as business idioms. Right? So it often used to convey complex ideas, strategies, or outcomes in a very concise and memorable way. So, why is it important? It is important because nowadays we are usually coming across encountering such words and phrases at workplace, but at times we don't know how to reciprocate or how to respond. So it's very important to understand at least few of them so that you can use it and also reciprocate it. That's the base of good communication. So let's get familiar to some of them in this session today. Alright, so let's begin. So the first one is touch base. Now, if at all you're aware, if you already know what it means, please drop it down in the chat section. What is the meaning of touch base? Have you heard this before at your workplace? Are you aware of it? Just let me know in the comment section, please. This is an idiomatic expression. Alright, so let's see the meaning of it. So, touch base means nothing but to briefly discuss or update someone on a specific topic. So, to briefly communicate or connect with someone, if you're doing that, you can use this phrase or idiom touch base. So, basically, to check in or update someone on a project or issue or to discuss something briefly. Also, to reconnect with someone after a period of time. So, for all these things, you can use this phrase touch base. Now, how to use it in example? So, you can say that let's touch base tomorrow to discuss the project's progress. Or you can say that I'll touch base with the team to get their feedback. That means you will discuss this with the team or you will check in or update with the team to get the feedback. Haven't seen you in ages. Let's touch base and catch up. That means we have not met or we are meeting after a really long time. So let's catch up. Let's update each other about maybe each other, right? So updating each other could be touching base. It is usually used professionally. So this is how you're supposed to use it, right? It remember we are precisely focusing on work related vocabularies and that is your goal. That is the agenda of today's session. So touch base simply means to briefly discuss or update someone on a specific topic. So when you interact with your team members or let's say when you connect with your team members, this is how you update each other or update one another. Now, what is the difference between each other and one another? This is not the part of the words and vocabulary that we are covering today, but general question, what do you think is the difference between each other and one another? Any idea? Think about it. Even if you don't know, just try to think about it. What could be the difference between the two phrases? So, each other, I'll tell you, each other refers to two people or entities, two people, entities, or thing. But one another is used for more than two people or entities or things. So, this is the basic difference between the two. Each other for two people or entities, and for more than two people or entities or things, you're supposed to use one another. So if I'm saying that John and Emily love each other, that means I'm talking about two people. They love each other. They help each other with homework. Again, two people helping each other. But when I'm saying that the team members support one another, that means I'm talking about more than two people. So this is something that you must remember. Alright? Okay, let's move ahead and look some examples. So for instance, let's touch base after the meeting to go over the key points. Now this is something that we have already discussed in one of the sessions. What is the meaning of go over? This is a phrasal verb. First of all, remember, this phrase go over is actually a phrasal verb. It comes under the category of phrasal verb. What is the meaning of it? Why do you use phrasal verb? We already know it. You can go through the sessions that we have had in the past few days, but go over actually means to review something, to examine something very closely. So let's touch base, that means let's update each other after the meeting so that we can go over or review the key points. Key points means main points. I'll touch base with the team to ensure that everyone is on track. So basically मैं जाके सबसे update लूँगी, सबसे discuss करूँगी just to ensure कि सारा काम समय पे हो रहा है. Can we touch base tomorrow to finalize the details? That means can we connect tomorrow? Can we discuss details tomorrow to finalize the details? Right? Or whatever it is. So touch base means get an update, briefly discuss something, or maybe update someone on specific topic. Alright, so this is the actual definition of touching base. I hope this is clear, and please jot it down. Why I keep saying that you have to jot it down? First of all, the meaning of jotting down is to pen down, to write it down. So jot down means pen it down. Keep your pen and paper handy, that means close to yourself, and jot down everything. This is what I expect from you. So make sure that you're jotting them down because this is something really important. Now loop in. First of all, read the word, say it loud, loop in. Loop in. Again, a very formal phrase that can be used, very formal idiom that can be used at workplace. But what is the meaning of it? What do you understand by it? Even if you don't know, just try to think about it. What do you think could be the meaning of it? Just wild guess. Not expecting the right answers, but wild guess. What do you think is loop in? Brainstorm a little. Okay? No problem if you are not aware. So loop in means to include someone in an email or discussion. So not only email but also discussion. Okay, to include someone in an email or discussion. If I'm saying that please loop me in on the project updates, that means please include me, please discuss it with me, keep giving me updates, please loop me in on the project updates. Or if I'm saying that let's loop in the marketing team on this decision, that means let's include them while we will be having this discussion. If I'm saying that I'll loop you in on the meeting details, that means I will include you in, or while discussing or whatever it is, I will make sure that I include you. I make you a part of whatever we are doing. So this is how you're supposed to use loop in. If at all in simple language you want to know, then lupin simply means to involve someone, to provide update to someone, to include someone, to keep someone informed is loop in. As simple as it sounds, nothing very extraordinary, but simple phrase with simple meaning. Loop in means loop me le lo. That means tell me what is happening. What updates do you have? Involve me in everything. मुझे involve करो. You can simply say please keep me in loop. Or I'll loop you in on the details. So please loop in John on this email chain. That means please include John also. I forgot to include the marketing team. I forgot to involve the marketing team, but I'll add them now. So instead of involve, include, you can use the word loop in. Can you loop me in on the project updates? That means can you please include me on the project updates? So instead of include and involve, we're simply using this phrase loop in. Easy? I think they're not very complicated. We're just going through some of the very common but yet complicated phrasal verbs and idioms. Right? So loop in, done. Next one is run it up the flagpole. Think about it. What do you think? What do you understand by this? What do you think could be the meaning of it? Run it up the flagpole. What do you think could be the meaning of it? Have you heard this earlier? No, Rohini, it's not for only emails, but you're talking about loop in, right? Email and any discussion in general. Okay, Mustaq says weather is cloudy. Oh, is it? Where do you live, Mustaq? Alright, what is the meaning of run it up the flagpole? What do you understand by it? What do you think could be the meaning of it? Tell me. Okay, so let's see the meaning of it first. And it is to propose an idea or gauge others' reaction. So when you test or propose an idea to see how others will react or what will be their response or reaction, then you use this word or phrase to run it up the flagpole. Right? When you want to see what others' reaction would be, आप किसी चीज़ को टेस्ट कर रहे हो just to see कि सामने वाले का reaction कैसे होगा. This is again a very formal idiom which is mostly used in workplace. इसे हम casual context में use नहीं करते हैं. For example, let's run it up the flagpole and see what the management thinks. So basically जो भी idea है उसको test करते हैं and let's see कि management क्या सोचता है. We should run this concept up the flagpole. So now instead of it, we are simply mentioning about the concept. It basically एक pronoun है जिसे हम use कर रहे हैं for something. So यहाँ पे instead of it, they're directly mentioning कि हम इस concept को run करने वाले हैं, test करने वाले हैं before proceeding. She ran her new strategy up the flagpole at the meeting. That means whatever her new strategy was, she tried to test it in front of others in order to gain their response or maybe their reaction. So this is to run it up the flagpole. So simply you can say that let's run it up the flagpole and see what the management thinks. Or you can say that I'll run the proposal up the flagpole and get feedback from the management. So this could be like a tongue twister, difficult to say out loud, but can be used in professional context. Alright? Okay, let's move ahead. Take it offline. Now, this is something that you already know. I mean, you use different variations of it, but I believe by just reading it, you can actually comprehend the meaning of it. So just read it out loud and try to figure out what could be the meaning of it. To take something offline, what is the meaning of it? What do you think would be the meaning? Just think about it. Brainstorm a little. Okay. So now when you're saying take something offline or take it offline, you are simply saying that to discuss a topic in a private setting, to continue a conversation or discussion in a private setting or non-public setting. So when you're saying कि take it offline, that means you want कि ये चीज़ हम private में discuss करें. Let's not discuss it here, but let's take it offline. That means non-public setting में इस चीज़ को discuss करना है. When there are no people. Privately, if you want to discuss something, then you use this phrase, taking it offline. For example, the issue is complex. Let's take it offline. That means जो issue है वो काफ़ी complex है, complicated है, तो इसको public में ना discuss करके private में discuss करते हैं. So if you want to say कि let's discuss it in private, you can simply say let's take it offline. Very, very, very important and very rich, fancy phrase that you can use at workplace. We'll take this conversation offline and discuss it further. That means अभी इन लोगों के सामने हम discuss नहीं करेंगे. We'll take it somewhere private and discuss it. Can we take it offline and address it after the meeting? So ये बाद में non-public setting में discuss करके then we can talk about it in the meeting. This is what you're trying to say. When saying taking it offline or take it offline. So let's take this conversation offline and discuss it in person. I'll take your suggestion offline and review it with the team. Right? So if at all you're discussing something privately and in non-public setting, then you suppose if you want to do it, then you can use this phrase, let's take it offline. Private में कुछ करना है, so you can simply say कि let's take it offline. Let's not discuss in public. Alright, let's take it outside. Or you can also say that discuss off the record. Right? These are the other ways of saying it. Let's have this conversation privately. So if you want to say let's have a conversation privately, let's not discuss it here in public, you can simply say that let's take it offline. Alright, I hope this is clear. Shall we move ahead? Is it clear? Just let me know yes, no, if you've understood it. Even if you haven't, don't worry, I'm gonna save this session on YouTube itself, so you can go through it whenever you want. You can revisit it, revise it whenever you feel like. Alright, think outside the box. This is something very common and I use it a lot. What do you think could be the meaning? There's one image on the screen as well, which is representing this idiom. So what is the meaning of thinking outside the box? What do you think could be the meaning? Think about it. So if I'm saying that you need to think outside the box, what do I mean by that? What is the meaning of thinking outside the box? It's an idiomatic expression, no doubt about it. But if you want a person to think very creatively, to come up with very creative or unconventional solutions, something which is not very common, something which is very different, जो कि creative हो. Unconventional means what? जो standard ना हो is unconventional. Non-standard is unconventional. Something that is very different from what people usually do. So if you want to say this, then you can use this phrase. Now you want the person to actually be creative, think creatively, be innovative, consider new perspectives. come out of the box and use creativity, something like that. So, thinking out of the box or outside the box simply means to come up with creative solutions or something which is not standard. For instance, we need to think outside the box to solve problem. मतलब ये जो problem है ना, ये छोटी मोटी नहीं है, इसके लिए हमें actually में थोड़ा सा different approach लगानी होगी. So if you want to say this, then you can use the phrase think outside the box. Her ability to think outside the box led to an innovative solution. Now, she was very much capable of having this creative mindset. So, therefore, she kept thinking out of the box and came up with this innovative solution. The team is encouraged to think out of the box during brainstorming sessions. So, brainstorming session means what? Where you're allowed to think about certain topics. So, when I'm saying that, look at the idiom on the screen and brainstorm a little, that means I want your brain to do some activity. You need to use your brain, provoke curiosity, and use your brain to think about what could be the meaning of the word or the phrase that is there on the screen. So brainstorming sessions means जहाँ पे आपके brain को warm up किया जाता है, where you are allowed or asked to think about it, to come up with solutions if at all there's a problem. So जहाँ पे हम अपने brain को engage करते हैं with a lot of activities, you're allowed to think, you're allowed to give judgments, you're given time to think. So these sessions are known as brainstorming sessions. And here the team is encouraged to think outside the box. That means in brainstorming sessions के दौरान टीम को encourage किया जाता है differently सोचने में या creatively सोचने के लिए. So this is what it means here in this case. So we need to think outside the box to solve this complex problem. इतनी easily problem solve नहीं होगा. You need to come up with better solution, creative solution, innovative solution to solve the problem. Alright? Is it clear? Low hanging fruit. Again, brainstorm a little. सोचो, थोड़ा दिमाग लगाओ कि क्या हो सकता है इसका मीनिंग. Low hanging fruit. Again, work related idiom है, professional context में use होता है. So what do you think could be the meaning of it? Low hanging fruit. So low hanging fruit simply means something which is easy to achieve. If you want to say that something is very easily achievable, बहुत ही नीचे. Low hanging fruit means what? Basically the fruit that is hanging very low. पेड़ में फल लगते हैं, उसमें से सबसे नीचे फल होता है, that is very easily accessible. You can easily use it. So कोई भी चीज़ जो हम easily achieve कर सकते हैं उसको हम बोलते हैं low hanging fruit. Okay? So what do you understand by it? Picking low hanging fruit is very easy and it requires very minimal effort. You don't have to reach high branches. So by default you can easily understand कि ये वाला fruit जो सबसे नीचे होता है उसको हम बहुत easily pick कर सकते हैं, बहुत easily तोड़ सकते हैं. So same, the meaning of this idiom also means tasks or goals that are easy to achieve, something which is easily achievable, something which is easy to achieve and accomplish. For instance, let's start with low-hanging fruit to make quick progress. They focused on the low-hanging fruit before tackling bigger challenges. This task is low-hanging fruit and we should complete it first. तो कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ जो बहुत easily achievable है, जिसको हम बहुत easily accomplish कर सकते हैं, that thing is known as low-hanging fruit. Or that task or that goal is known as low-hanging fruit, जो कि बहुत easy है and there are chances that you might get a quick win. Alright? I hope this is clear. Move the needle. What do you understand by this? Just look at the image and try to figure out what could be the meaning of it. To move the needle, what is the meaning of it? Okay, so to move the needle simply means to make significant impact or progress. ऐसा impact और ऐसा progress जो actually noticeable है. To make significant progress or impact. Okay, something that is making a difference, something that is showing result or having a sort of impact is moving a needle. For example, we need a strategy that will really move the needle. तो अभी हम बस काम कर रहे हैं but वो impactful नहीं है. And if you want to say that you should have impactful strategy or you should impactfully work so that it can make a difference, then you can use this phrase to move a needle. We need a strategy that will really move the needle. Her efforts have started to move the needle on our sales goal. This new campaign should move the needle for our market presence. Okay, so again, if you want to make a difference, if you really want to make a significant impact or progress, in that case, you use this phrase to move a needle. Next one, on the same page. Now you can see there's one image on the screen that clearly tells you the meaning of this phrase. There are two people standing on the same page. Now, this is the literal meaning of it. But what is the actual meaning of this idiom? What do you understand by it? If I'm saying that I am on the same page as you are, what do you mean by it? Or what do I mean by it? What do I mean by it? Oh, sorry, my bad. Alright. On the same page means when we are in agreement or have shared understanding. जब हम एक ही जैसा सोच रहे हैं या हमारा जो output है वो एक जैसा है, understanding एक जैसी है, then in that case we use this phrase on the same page. For instance, it's important that we are on the same page before we proceed. So it's important कि हमारा agreement हो जाए इस matter पे before we proceed further. Are we on the same page about the project timeline? तो क्या हम same page पे हैं project timeline के लिए? Right, whatever it is, जो भी matter है, if we are in agreement or if at all there's something related to agreement, then you can use this phrase on the same page. Yes, I'm on the same page as you are. Let's ensure everyone is on the same page regarding the new policy. Right? So new policy मतलब new policy के लिए अगर हम same page में, अगर हम agree कर रहे हैं तो फिर ठीक है, otherwise action must be taken. So I hope you understand what is on the same page means. Let's move ahead. Drill down. What is the meaning of drill down? To drill down. Again, phrase or idiom that can be used in professional setting. Brainstorm a little. What do you think is to drill down? What is the meaning of it? Now, what do you mean by go over? We have already discussed this word in one of the sessions. And what is the meaning of go over? Go over simply means when you want to examine something closely or when you review something very carefully. So, drill down also means the same. To examine a topic in more detail. To examine, or you can say analyze a topic in more detail. For example, let's drill down into the sales data to identify trends. Or the investigator drill down on the suspect's alibi. Right? So, drill down means to analyze or examine something very closely. This is what drilling down means, to analyze something thoroughly or examine closely, investigate deeply, dig deeper is the other phrase that you can use for the same, or get to the bottom of something. Then also you can use this phrase. And ये होता है जब हम एक्चुअली किसी चीज़ पे अंदर जाके उसकी तह तक जाके उसके बारे में फिगर आउट करते हैं. बट अगर हम ऊपर ऊपर से कोई चीज़ कर रहे हैं, सो यू कैन से दैट यू आर स्किमिंग द सर्फेस. सुपरफिशियली कुछ देख रहे हैं, वी नॉट डिगिंग डीप, बट ऊपर ऊपर से देख रहे हैं. सो यू कैन से to skim the surface. She is just skimming the surface. I don't think she is serious about the project. That means skimming the surface मतलब वो ऊपर ऊपर से ही वो project को कर रही है. She is not digging deeper, right? Skim the surface. The spelling is SKIMTHE, the and surface. Skim the surface, right? So you got to learn another phrase, additional phrase, which is to skim the surface. That means ऊपर ऊपर से ही कुछ करना. You're not digging deeper. बहुत एनालाइज नहीं कर रहे हो या बहुत एग्जामिन क्लोजली नहीं कर रहे हो. Alright, let's see the examples. So we need to drill down into the data to find the root cause. That means we need to examine something or this thing very closely or examine data very closely just to figure out कि problem का root cause क्या है. Let's drill down on this issue in the next meeting or in our next meeting. That means let's analyze it closely in the next meeting. The report allows us to drill down into specific metrics. That means it actually helps us to analyze into specific metrics. Alright? Okay. Pivot. Now, this is one of the words that I've learned from the show called Friends. I don't know if I've talked about this earlier, but I'm an avid watcher of Friends. It's a TV show available on Netflix. It's a sitcom based on situational comedy. But what a show! And all the characters in the show are my favorite. So basically, I learned this word from the show called Friends. What I want to tell was I learned this word from the show called Friend. Okay, the word is pivot. What is the meaning of pivot? To change direction or adjust plans. So, for example, if things are not working as per your requirements, then we change plan or adjust plan. So, that is what pivot is. Right there, you use the word pivot. Now, it could be a new word for you, but mostly used in professional context. Okay, to change direction or adjust plans. Maybe things are not working, so you need to tweak your strategy a little. So, there you use this word pivot. The company pivoted its business model to focus on online sales. So, as per online sales, the company actually adjusted its plan. For instance, we need to pivot our strategies in response to market changes. The company decided to pivot a new business model to a new business model. That means they shifted or adjusted or adapted to a new business model. After the initial failure, they quickly pivoted their approach. So, fail हुए, then we realized that the strategy is not working. So, they quickly adjusted or changed or shifted their focus towards new approach. So, this is where you use this word pivot. Alright? Okay, I hope this is clear. Basically, to change direction or adjust your plans. Okay, synonyms could be to adapt or maybe adjust, change direction, modify, shift focus could also be the synonym of it. And opposites of it could be, when you're remaining static, continue unchanged plans. So there, this could be the antonyms or opposites of it. All right? Okay. Run with it. What happens when you run with something? What is actually happening? So I just want literal meaning of it. Run with something. What is the meaning of this phrase? Run with something or run with it. If I'm saying that, oh, let's run with this concept and see where it takes us. Very easy. I think you don't require much effort here, but this is something that you can easily comprehend. So run with it means let's take an idea and implement it. Right? So if you feel like, okay, this is something, this can be done, so you can simply say that let's run with this idea. I think this is going to work. So run with it means let's take an idea and implement it. So we're not testing it, but we are actually implementing it. That's a great idea. I'll let you run with it. That means काफी अच्छा idea है. The person will let you go with it further and implement it. Once we get approval, we can run with it immediately. So approval के बाद हम इसको implement कर सकते हैं. She took the concept and ran with it, delivering outstanding results. Delivering outstanding results. Now, it is not deliver, but it is deliver. She's delivering a beautiful speech. And run with it simply means to implement something, to expand or maybe take it and go forward with it. Is run with it. Right? And if you're not running with it, then the opposite could be dropping it. That's not a good idea. I think we should drop it. That's a great idea. I'll let you run with it. That's how you say it. Okay, I hope this is clear. Is it? If yes, please let me know in the chat section. It can be. So, Rohini, you can definitely use it, but ये काफी formal होते हैं. They're quite formal. So it is usually suggested to use it at professional workplace because they are used formally in a professional setting, in a formal setting. But of course, if you feel like आपको use करने हैं घर पे या ऐसा कोई instance आपको मिल रहा है या let's say कुछ चीज़ ऐसी है where you can use it, you can go for it. Circle back. Very common. What is the meaning of it? I'll circle back to you. What do you mean by that? Circle back. What do you mean by circle back? Again, to return to the topic. Circle back means what? Circle form हो रहा है, where from wherever you're starting, you're coming back to that point. That is called as circle back. So circle back simply means to return to a topic, maybe a conversation or a task at a later time. For example, let's circle back to that idea later. That means let's get back to this topic, let's get back to this idea later. I'll circle back with you once I have an update. So I don't have an update as of now, but once I have it, I'll get back to you. So the other way of saying that I'll get back to you or I'll return to the topic, you can simply say I'll circle back with you. For instance, let's circle back to this discussion next week. That means let's revisit or return to this topic next week. I'll circle back with you once I have more information. Can we circle back to this point later in the meeting? So that means you're simply using this phrase to say कि बाद में उस टॉपिक पे वापस आना है या return back to something. There you use this phrase circle back. Alright, so I think we are done with all the 10 idioms that you can use at your workplace. You can revise all of them once we're done with the session because that's how you remember it for a longer period of time. Revision is very, very important. We had this, the session was short because I wasn't feeling well today. I'm under the weather for some reason, maybe because of the weather change. So I cannot speak much. But if you feel like this session helped you in any way, you got to learn something new, don't forget to hit the like button so that it can actually motivate me to make more such sessions for you all, and I can actually come up with such sessions every now and then. So for now, we're planning to have these sessions for 30 days straight. We've had few sessions earlier, so I think around 22 sessions left. So, if you feel like no, this should continue forever, please don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you attend tomorrow's session as well. On Sunday, we're planning for master vocabulary marathon if my health allows. I'm still not well. So, if it does allow, then we'll be having a session for 2 hours where you will get to learn a lot of new words, new phrases as per your daily needs. So, don't forget to join the session on Sunday, and the next session will be tomorrow at 9. So don't forget to join that also. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye everyone. Take care.